All right, today I'm going to be making a Tangram tumbler that is rainbow. I've done one like this before, but it was like 2 or 3 years ago. So it's been a while, but I did just make a Tangram tumbler in the last few days for the first time in like 2 years. So now I've got all the kinks out, and I think this is going to go a lot smoother than that one did, even though it turned out pretty well. That's this one right here. I just need to epoxy it a little bit and then put the lines on it and it'll look great. But it was rough getting there. So I'm going to get started on this one. I'm going to sand a 20-ounce straight skinny tumbler from Hog. And then I'm going to apply my already cut out Tangram. Let's see if I have it right here. Yeah. So I cut this yesterday. So I'm going to apply that with some transfer tape that is not strong grip, because that does not work well. That's what I just experienced on the last one. So I'm going to apply that to the tumbler, and then I'm actually going to write down on here. I mean, it's hard to see the lines through the camera, but I'm going to write like R for red, O for orange, and kind of plan it out once I have it on the cup, just to make sure I don't mess up my pattern, because I kind of messed up on the last one, but you can't really tell. But that's what I'm going to do. Okay, I don't have the best lighting in here at this time of day, but what I'm going to go ahead and do first is I have some excess vinyl on the edges of my pattern here. So I'm going to cut all of those edges off because I just want it to be the exact pattern and nothing else. I bought this pattern from somebody on Etsy years ago, and all I do is I just double check that it is the right size for my cup. So I measure around my cup and then the length of my cup. And just double check it before I cut it out. And I did that. Okay, these little pieces are wasted, but these I can use for something else. All right. My table, this is a very glittery process, so my table is still kind of covered in glitter from the last Tangram tumbler. First, I'm going to measure this around the cup. Okay, so I definitely cut something a little bit off just now, maybe because I can't see in here properly, but it's not that big of a deal because it will be good to have, you know, one solid color around the top, one solid color around the bottom. So I'm going to go with that. So I'm going to line it up how I want it. I'm going to line it up how I want it and how it looks good. And then I'm going to tape one side of it. So I'm going to grab my tape. That taping it really keeps it from moving when you are applying it. So I'm just double checking. Let's see, can you see that? Okay. It appears to be lined up pretty well. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut a bit of transfer tape, not strong grip, just regular. And I'm going to make sure it's a little bit longer than what I need. Or I'm going to make sure it's a little bit longer than the orange template. So I want it to hang over a little bit. so I need it to go that way. So now I'm going to attempt to peel the backing off. Sometimes this takes me like 5 minutes. Okay, I got lucky today. Okay, I'm just gonna cut a little corner off right now just to help me and not have too big of a giant piece. Okay, so I've got my transfer tape. I've cut a little corner off of it. But I'm actually gonna peel that back more. I know that you can't really see what I'm doing, but I'm gonna try to cut off a whole line of it this direction to stick it on the cup. Like that, but all the way across. Okay, so now don't need to overhang too much, so just gonna press that on there. Now that I know it's secure and on there all the way across, I'm gonna start, if it'll let me, I'm gonna start peeling it back and then pressing it onto the orange vinyl. It just wants to rip right now for some reason. Okay, this middle part. You just need to get this middle part to cooperate. This one part is so stuck. I don't understand. Come on. Here we go. Sheesh. Okay. Now let's make sure it's lined up again. All right. Gosh. Okay, I think if I hadn't ripped it, it would have been totally fine. Okay, starting over here. I'm going to be pressing down. On the transfer tape. Okay, I'm just gonna do it like that. Even though there's a bubble in it. Transfer tape just is not my friend today. At least this isn't strong grip, so it's not gonna give me as many problems. All right, now I'm gonna start peeling back this backing. Use this little tool here. Try to get that orange vinyl really stuck to the transfer tape. Okay. So now I'm going to work on removing the backing. I don't know why I'm standing up. I think this is usually a lot easier when I'm sitting down, but oh well. I'm gonna try to peel it up from this side as well. Okay. Now I'm just going to push that onto the cup. Try to rub out any bubbles I've got. And I'm just going to continue peeling it back, making sure that no orange pieces are really fully sticking to the backing. And every once in a while, I'm just going to make sure that there's not a whole lot of bubbles, a whole lot of creases. This is already so much better of a process than with the strong grip. But the true test is when you're trying to remove the transfer tape. Okay, this sticky part is giving me some trouble. Helps to bend it a certain way so that you really get those orange pieces to pop off of the backing. Ta-da! Okay, so now I need to lift up the tape that I have on here. Fold that over so it's out of my way. And now I'm going to add this last part here. Okay. So if I had used a strong grip, which I accidentally did last time, did not notice, all of these orange pieces would be popping up, sticking to the vinyl, kind of like that, but I'll be able to get those to stay down. And that's the difference. Okay, I'll be honest, that process is always a pain in the butt, but once you get it on there, this is the more fun part, is glittering it. So I'm just gonna kind of push down any of these bubbles I see. It looks like it's lined up pretty well. Right here, that's the only spot where you're really gonna have to like connect with your Mod Podge and glitter. And kind of finish the piece there. But all right, so the next step is going to be glittering it. Actually, before that, I'm gonna plan out my tumbler. So I'm actually gonna label each section with the color that I'm going to be placing under it, which is really gonna help. On my last tumbler, I didn't have that option because so many of the pieces picked up and stuck to the strong grip vinyl. On this one, I get to do that, and it really helps because I can do all of the darkest color first, and then I can move down to the lightest colors. So that's what I'm gonna do, and then I will record the next step, which is glittering it. Okay, the only thing I could figure out, so this problem is because I have 6 glitters I need to use instead of 5. So the only thing I could figure out is starting red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and then doing another orange. That's the only way I can figure it out. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and get started on basically painting and glittering this cup. So I'm just going to choose a color to start with. I'm going to start with my darkest color. That's usually the best option. You know what? I think I actually am going to go through and label every one of these again. So let me go ahead and do that. Oh, okay, I've got it all written out. Now I'm going to get my little tool here. I'm going to get my weeding tool and I'm going to take off all of the purples. It's best to do your darkest color first. That way no dark glitter gets stuck in your lighter colors like the yellow or maybe the orange. Okay, I think I've gotten all of the purples off. This is the one section where the pattern kind of changes because they're the same on right there rather than continuing up right next to each other. But that is going to be okay. So I'm just making sure I got them all. All right, at this point, I'm going to get my purple glitter ready. Going to get my purple paint ready. Gonna put some purple paint right here. Yeah. And a little bit of Mod Podge. There we go. So having the matching color paint as your background really helps for the glitter to just look better. If you just had the silver background, which I've tried before, it just does not look right. You can see through it, so it's good to have a nice, even colored background that matches your glitter. So now I'm just going to go around the cup with this mixture, painting one at a time, glittering one at a time, until I'm done with the purples. This will not come off my finger. Okay. And I just kind of gently tap it in. If there's a spot where it seems like there was a little too much paint and the glitter didn't really adhere well, I add more glitter. Tap it off, knock it off. When I'm done with all of the purple, I will go with a brush, a different brush, and brush off all the glitter. Some of them come out looking a little bit messy, but once I peel up the one next to it, it's gonna look nice and straight. All right, this is where I'm stopping for the night. I've done the purple and I've done the blue. So tomorrow when I start again, I'll start with the green. All right, I've just done the red. Now I'm gonna move on to the orange, I think. It's kind of hard at this point to decide what's the next darkest color, but I think I'm gonna go orange, then green, then yellow. All right, I've just taken off the last sections and I'm about to do the yellow. So I'm going to mix a little bit of yellow acrylic paint with my Mod Podge and paint it on each section, sprinkle the glitter on, and then I will be done. All right, now I am done with the glitter portion of this cup. It is so shiny, it's so pretty. Okay, so now I'm going to spray it with some clear spray paint really well. I might do 2 coats of that just to make sure that when I do epoxy it, I'm not getting the yellow glitter into the purple, or especially not one of the darker colors into the lighter colors. So I'm going to do that. Then I'm probably going to do like 2 or 3 layers of epoxy, sanding in between each layer, and then it will be time to do the lines. I'm going to be doing the vinyl lines on this Rainbow, Tangram, or Chevron Tumbler today. So I already cut them out on this shiny vinyl here, which I used the Iron-On Plus setting to cut this. I find that works the best. So I made these from a square in Cricut, and then I changed it to 11.5 inches by 0.11 inches. So that's the size of these. And then I just cut them out as a group. Now I'm gonna peel them off and I'm gonna do these shapes first, and I always end with doing the straight lines down. So here's what the beginning's gonna look like as you're doing your lines for the chevron shapes. And then I'm gonna go back through, once I've done this on the entire cup, I'm gonna go back through and do the lines that go straight down the entire cup. Here's an update with what it looks like right now. And I'm just using this tool here to make the cuts like that. Okay, I did the whole cup with the chevron lines, and then I went over all those meeting points right here with one line. So here is the finished product of that. Now I'm gonna let this vinyl sit on here for 24 hours, make sure it really adheres. Then I'm gonna spray it with a clear coat because this kind of vinyl likes to repel epoxy. And then I'm going to do probably 2 layers of epoxy over this, and then it'll be done.